What's going on YouTube? I am Highway to Hill and this is my bike Yamaha YZF R3, and these are the new set of tires. These are the MRF steel brace. You would have already seen the introduction last video that I did on these tires. So I gave you the context, I gave you all the tires that I've used so far, and this time around I went ahead with the MRF steel brace. So I've done like 1000 kilometers on these tires. 300 kilometers are in city riding, 300 kilometers, and the rest 700 kilometers I did on the highway. And out of these 700 kilometers, around 50 kilometers I rode in rain. So I think that was more than enough for me to know how these tires perform in wet weather. So in this video I'll do a review. So this is a review at 1000 kilometers. I will give you my views on dry weather performance and wet weather performance. I have never ever used a MRF tire in my life. I have never used MRFs. Even when I was riding like commuter bikes, I started with scooters and then Splendors and then 150cc and then moved to sports bikes. I've never used MRF. When I got these tires and I put the pictures on Instagram, a lot of people said that, bro, you have made a big mistake. Why did you go for MRF? You will skid. I have had near misses. I have near death experiences. These tires are going to skid, they slip and so on. And yes, that's the reputation, and that's true because that's the reputation even I had in my mind, and that's why I've never ever purchased an MRF tire in my life. This is the first time ever that I've gone with the MRF rubber in my life. When the R3 was launched back in 2015, the standard tire was a MRF. I'm not sure exactly which one is what, Masseter or Revs, or I don't know which tire was that. But that tire was bashed by everybody, the owners, anybody who test rode the R3 back then in 2015. The journalist, everyone bashed those MRF tires. That was the BS3 version of the R3. And when I got when the BS4 version came, that's when I got my bike. They had the Metzlers, right? That's the kind of those are the kind of tires a bike like R3 deserves, right? And MRF obviously didn't do justice to that. Okay, fast forward 2024. I've already used Apollo Alpha H1. I've already used the TVS Protorq Extreme. When I got my first sports bike in 2015, that was a Benelli TNT 300. Back then, we didn't have much options, right? Tires for sports bikes, which are like 300cc and above. There was only Pirelli and Michelin. And at that time itself, 10 years back, those tires were like selling for 15,000. Today, those tires are like 20k, right, and above. Michelin Road 5s, if you want Pirelli Dabbler Rossos, they are north of 20,000. But now, like for the past 5-6 years, you have so many options. Apollo has Alpha H1, TVS has Protorq Extreme. MRF has come a little late to the party, not completely late, but yeah, you can say second last. So now they've got the MRF. These are the steel brace, right? And even Seat recently came up with Sport Rad. So all these tires are pretty similar in specifications. These are all steel radials made for sports bike like this. And that's amazing. There are 4 Indian manufacturers making some amazing tires right now. We are lucky we have these options, and that's also because that this segment has also grown quite a lot, right? In this segment, when you see like bikes 250cc and above till 500, there are at least, I don't know, maybe like 15-20 bikes right now, which is awesome. And to cater that needs, manufacturers, especially Indian manufacturers, all of them have come up with tires. So again, a lot of people told me that you have made mistake, you shouldn't have got the MRF. You know what, these tires are awesome. I can just sum it up in one line. These are really good tires, guys. I have done 1000 kilometers and not even once I have ridden in wet weather and dry weather, and not even once these tires have actually skidded or slipped. And I've actually purposely tried to do that. I've tried to do hard acceleration, not anything crazy, but like revving up to 6,000-7,000 on the taco, and tried to skid them. But these tires have behaved so well, and I am mighty impressed, right? The moment I got these tires installed at the MRF shop, see, one thing was absolutely clear. So I went in with my old tires, which were Apollo Alpha H1, and I was just rolling out of the shop with these tires on. And the moment these tires hit a few stones, a few bad patches, it was soaking everything. So small stones, small patches of road which are which have been removed, or small bumps, all of that, these tires are just soaking it up so smoothly. I was surprised, and that immediately told me one thing: these are softer. These are definitely softer than your Apollo Alpha H1, right? So that was my moment of truth with these tires, and I knew these are soft, which means two things right away. It'll be grippy, of course. The tires are like super soft, and it's soaking and everything, right? That's on the road. So obviously they will be grippy, no doubt, absolutely. And these are, right, they heat up also fast, and they are pretty grippy. And also the second thing, which what this automatically means, is that the life will not be like so will be very high. I don't think you can expect like 15,000 kilometers out of these soft tires. You can probably expect 10 to 12,000, right? And guys, please remember, all these numbers that I'm quoting are in is with respect and with context to my bike, right? R3 produces like 42 bhp and 30 newton meters of torque, but today there are so many bikes in this cc category, or like close to 450 cc category, which make a lot more torque than what the R3 makes, right? You have your Harley, the Maverick, even your Triumphs, right? All the KTMs, all of these bikes make torque north of like what, 35, close to 37, 38, right? So with those kind of bikes and your riding style, I don't know, these tires might not even last maybe 10,000 kilometers. Look at the marking here, right? 1,000 kilometers, and already the one, so 1 2 3 4 5, one has already disappeared. Just 1,000 kilometers, one has already disappeared, two is just about to. And you know what, I haven't even done a ghat section yet. So I've done 1,000 kilometers and 300 in the city, and another 700 I came from Hyderabad to Chennai. So it had like long sweeping sections where you turn left, like really long, not like once you have in ghat section twisties, not like that. So in that itself, 1 and 2 is almost gone. I can't wait to see what happens on a ghat section. That's one thing which I haven't done yet. But these tires are so super stable, even on those long sweeping corners, which you can do at like, I was doing at 120, 125, and these tires, I mean, nothing unusual, stable, lot of grip. And even if there was some kind of undulation that you suddenly encountered on the road, or some like bad patch, or somewhere the upper surface has been like scraped off, or some small bump or something, absorbed everything. That's because these tires are like so soft, guys. Really soft, softer than your Apollo for sure. 100%, absolutely, no doubt about that. How do I compare this with the Pro Torque Extreme? Wow, I mean, those tires are also great. See, Pro Torque Extreme just gives your bike like completely amazing new level of handling. And I think one standout feature for the steel brace is how how good these tires are on bad roads. If you have bad surfaces, this will soak up everything, seriously. It's like and my bike is, I've done like 80,000 kilometers on my bike, so like my suspension and all is like not new, right? So even with the suspension this old, it feels like my bike has had like a complete suspension overhaul or something. And See, these tires are still pretty heated up, right? Awesome. So yeah, definitely softer. These grooves and pattern will remind you so much of the Sportec M5, the Metzeler Sportec M5. And you know, the shape reminds me of Pirelli Diablo Rosso 2. This is a 150 section tire, but actually it doesn't look that wide. The Apollo Alpha H1 looks wider, so I think this has a much more rounded profile. That's why I say these grooves look like Sportec M5, and the profile, the shape looks quite a lot like a Pirelli Diablo Rosso, right? And you know, it actually doesn't even look to me like a 150 section tire. It actually looks like, it looks because of the profile, it looks little skinny. It looks like a 140 section, or maybe, I don't know, 145 if such a thing exists. That's what it looks like. Now in rain also, I mean, these tires behaved so well. I rode for around 50 kilometers in rain. I think that's more than enough to know how these behaved. And unfortunately I didn't have my GoPro, so I couldn't record much footage, but I just stopped and I tried to record something. So you can see this section, when you have these machines, they scrape the tarmac when they're trying to relay the road. They scrape the upper surface of the tarmac, and then the machine leaves a very like a very crazy zigzag kind of a pattern, and when you ride on that, your bike is just moving all over the place, right? You all would have experienced that. So that's the kind of surface I was riding on. As you can see, there are all these small stones. It's raining, and there are these somewhere, not potholes, but some places you have the patches intact, some places patches are gone, and then you have this weird pattern once that machine scrapes off the upper layer. In all these conditions, like I was riding and the bike felt, the tires gave me so much confidence. I never felt the bike is misbehaving or the tires are going to skid or slip, which speaks volumes. This is the first time I'm using MRF tires, and I think I'm mighty impressed, guys. Yeah, like I said, I've never even considered MRF, but when the steel brace was announced, I was quite interested. I slowly started doing my research. Most of the reviews were positive, whatever was available back then. Even on YouTube I couldn't find a full-fledged video review, but I kept doing my research, and then I saw that these tires are standard. I mean, one of the standard tires for the Triumphs. So Triumph had given their customers two options: MRF steel brace or the Apollo Alpha H1. So I tried to do some research and try and find reviews of folks who have used the MRF steel brace on their Triumphs, and most of them gave good reviews. Yeah, so whatever I read online felt pretty positive, and that's why I decided to go with the steel brace, and I think this has been a good decision. So guys, yeah, another option for everybody. I only have good things to say. Any negatives? Yeah, it's a little bit on the pricey side if you compare probably this with the Apollo Alpha H1 and the TVS Pro Torque Extreme. Yes, it's slightly expensive, but then it's good. so yeah, no compromises. These tires are really good, guys, trust me. Apollo Alpha, I compared this with Apollo Alpha H1, and I will still say that these tires are better, but that does not automatically mean that Apollo Alpha H1 is bad. By no means. Those are good tires as well. I've used two sets of Apollo Alpha H1, but this is simply better. Apollo Alpha H1 is more of a all-rounded tire, right? There's a good balance of it's the cheapest, right? So value for money, it'll give you good mileage, and the grip is also, it's acceptable, right? It's not bad. So it's like an all-rounded tire. TVS Pro Torque Extreme, slightly expensive, like 12,000, something around that number. I love those tires. They've been my favorite tires so far. Amazing handling. The tire was made by TVS, who has a rich history in racing, and it was They've been using the tires for the Apache 310 RR Cup for racing. So yeah, the tire was literally born on the racetrack, so it's awesome. And now we have the steel brace, softer. The way it handles bad roads is just the main highlight for me, and of course it's grippy, it heats faster. That's the review. Thank you so much for watching. Have you used these tires, or are you planning? So I think you have a headache now. Anybody who's evaluating, you have a Polo Alpha H1, you have Pro Torque, now you have MRF steel brace as well, and maybe I'll get the Seat also. I mean, Sport Rad is out, so once I'm done with this, I don't think this is going to last long, so once I'm done with this, I'll probably give it a shot at the Seat Sport Rad as well. If you have used these tires, please share your experience, because there's very less information out there, not much on YouTube. So if you've used these tires, guys, like, you agree with me, you disagree with me, whatever, please share your experience. It'll help a lot of people who are watching this video, who are evaluating tires for their sports bikes. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Highway to Hill. I'll see you soon in the next video. The next probably update might be at, I don't know, I'll try to bring the next update at 10,000 kilometers, I guess. All right, you ride safe. Ciao.